welcome back to Say What Reacts. Back again with Carlito.
That's me.
So I'm super excited for this next MV. We're getting into Ko Ko Bop, guys. We are almost, we have like I think 4 songs left, 4 MVs left in our storyline MV little series we're getting into. Yeah.
Wow.
We have Ko Ko Bop, we have Power. Oh, 5. We have Lay's Namanana, and which is the one that was based on the Alchemist one.
Oh, okay. Because you say Namanana, I was like, I'm thinking about Sesame Street. Namanana.
Namanana. But then Tempo and Love Shot. So there's actually 5 left.
Okay,
so
cool.
I'm excited. This is kind of this is, first of all, it's an awesome video.
Yeah.
I really want to tell you everything about what I think about the video.
Yeah, she has strong opinions about this video.
But I'm not going to say anything because I want you to say everything that you think first.
Right.
And then...
You want to make me look like an ass on TV.
No, well...
I'm just talking shit.
Okay, do you want me to at least tell you where I think it falls into the story?
Not yet.
Okay. Okay.
Because it's all fresh in our minds, too. I want to see it. And then we can compare notes.
Okay, sounds good. We'll do it that way.
Yeah.
Okay. At least the one thing I can say is I don't think you'll be distracted by Kai's abs as most people are.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you might be.
Maybe.
I mean, it's
I might be
amazing. Sorry. I mean, now that I pointed them out, or now that I mentioned it. No, but everyone looks great in this video, and it's a very colorful, trippy video, is all I'm going to say. Cool. There's a ton of little Easter eggs and craziness happening in this video. Okay. So definitely pay attention.
I'll try. But
we will probably go back and break down scenes because there's a lot happening in this video, and I don't want you to miss it.
And I've noticed they've ramped it up. Like in these past couple of videos, there's been a lot. Because before it's just like I've been able to pick up on things, but sometimes we've had to like slow it down.
Yeah. No, this one there's a lot.
There's a lot happening.
I feel like this is the most. Maybe this one and there's a lot in Tempo and Love Shot too, though. Okay. So anyway, let's do this. I love this song too.
It's got like a dub feel to it.
A little reggae feel to it.
Shimmy, shimmy, Ko Ko Bop. I think I like it. 긴장은 down, down. 부끄러운 말걸. 어지러운 마음속에 내가 들어가. 익숙한 듯 부드럽게 내게 던져가. 고요한 밤이야. 날 위한 밤이야. 참을 수가 없어 빠져가.
This is the drug anthem, obviously. This is the party song. This is where you get tooted, get twisted, get booted, whatever you want to call it. This is that song.
So, what are your thoughts on that video, and what do you think's going on?
They were living in excess, obviously, because it's just like that's another problem. People like to space out and find their own thing. That's how I see it.
Okay.
These boys like getting fucked up.
Okay.
This is what Earth has to offer. And look, the image is totally different. They got tattoos and face piercings, and they're reading books. Like, I couldn't tell what they were reading, but I don't know. Maybe something on something like metaphysics, astrophysics, something like that. But this is definitely like more of a spacey type feel. To me, this is kind of like a counterculture. There's nothing specific that they're fighting per se. This was a feel good song. I like this song.
I love this song.
Yeah, this is a real chill song.
So,
yes.
Before I get into what I actually think it is, one person said that this scene here, 1 second. This is like when they arrived on Earth. I don't think that's what it is.
I don't think that's what it is.
I don't think it's what it is. But
because they had a Vanguard party.
What I think is what it is after Lucky One, when they were being drugged,
and sedated
and tested on and sedated.
Yeah.
Suho, their leader, is making their blue drink.
Yeah.
Putting their Ko Ko Bop, whatever the heck it is,
right.
into the blue drink and having them drink it. And this is them detoxing from what happened to them at the facility.
I see.
So
I can see that.
They're testing their powers because they haven't. They want to make sure that they're good. You know what I'm saying? So they're testing their powers. So if you notice, hold on. If you notice here, here, he jumps into this puddle and he disappears in the puddle of water.
Right.
Obviously, his power is water.
Yeah. You're running out of space on this PC.
There's no way. But I do need to delete a bunch of shit. So
right.
maybe there is. Okay. And then if you look at here, it's just this is just going into the aspect of like their powers.
Yeah.
We have Schumann, who his power is ice.
Right.
So he's making it like rain, but ice into this glass.
Right.
Okay. So
but we see them using their powers in the facility, though. But go continue.
Right.
Continue,
well, that's just to try to help escape.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now that they're trying to detox, they need to make sure that they're good.
I got
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Here we have. We see Kai. He's teleportation. He's chilling.
What's he reading?
Space something.
Yeah, he's wearing some astrophysics type shit.
Something space something. I don't know. So he's we were both like all up in it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's his teleportation. So he's just like chilling on a cloud.
Yeah.
You notice the car was driving around by itself, which
right.
That's I think just part of them like tripping out.
Yeah.
This is obviously you can see Schumann's kind of like tripping out here as well. You see here Dio's power is strength, so you see him like
tripping balls,
fall
breaking
back,
the earth.
and he like cracks the earth open, which is like candy. Yeah. Here we have Chen playing with
electricity in the
and like these
Don't do
burgers.
that shit at home. Don't do
no
that shit
electricity
at
in the bathtub. And these burgers are like going in and out of like looks almost like a TV.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So and he's tripped out by that. Then we have Chenyol, who's fire.
Yeah.
Who slams the basketball and creates
Turns into
fireworks.
Yeah.
Then we have Baekhyun, who is light, who does something very similar, but he's light. So when he does it, it is a big light explosion in the sky.
Yeah, it's like a supernova.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
But yeah, so so yes, that's the theory on this one, and this is why. And like I said,
that's the broad theory. That's not
know.
your theory, right? What's your
This
theory?
is what I've heard multiple people, and
What's your
honestly,
theory?
I agree 100%.
All right.
That makes complete sense based on everything I've seen, based on what all the craziness going on in this video.
Yeah.
To me, that makes complete sense.
I got you.
And it fits in. And like I said, I don't know if this is the video that finally made people think these aren't in order.
Right.
Because this is the first one. The other one, you can be like, well, maybe.
Yeah.
But then this one, you're like, okay, wait, how does this...
Right.
You know what I mean? So I definitely agree with the people who think that this is the video that should be, or this is the what happened after Lucky One.
I got you.
After they escaped the facility.
I got
So,
you.
yeah, I agree 100% with that whole theory.
All right, that's fair. That's pretty cool. My opinion, as a whole, like this is like has a reggae dub feel to it.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a lot of drug references in it as well too. Like my feel on it, it's not really attached to that, and I don't see personally because I just watched this in
Right.
order of the other continuity videos. What I feel where this would tie in to me is also another aspect of humanity.
Okay.
This is the excess because what else is in this video? Mercedes driving by itself, doing a lot of drugs, hanging out in like very, very beautiful exotic places, hamburgers and like
Floating in
fast
the sky.
food floating in the sky, but then also excess because it's not necessarily just drugs. People eat a lot. People do drugs to escape a lot of things, and everything that they're doing because like they use their powers to escape the facility.
Yeah.
Them trying to detox, but then we go back to the video before that. He's in the lab. What's he working on? That could
Well,
be
that's a whole other theory, which we'll get into
well, no,
as we
and
go
it's
along.
just, but in terms of what we're seeing right now, like to me in this video, I think it's just more of expressing another side of humanity.
Another side of humanity.
Another side of humanity
Experiencing another side of
that
humanity
is not
to
on
understand
That's
what.
not on EXO. Again,
Okay.
positive and negative because if anything, from the outside from the outside looking in, if you were super conservative and you never did drugs and you don't understand drugs, you can kind of be like, okay. You can kind of be like, oh, I can see that they're detoxing. Someone that has done drugs in their lifetime can look at this as something of not necessarily glorifying it for the youth, but they make drugs really cool in this video. Like better than like Bob Marley and Snoop Dogg for like smoking weed. Like these dudes are having a really good time. You're seeing really cool trippy effects.
But
that are
there's
happening.
also, it's
Yeah.
also a negative thing.
It is
and
a
that's
negative
why like
thing.
they're trying
Look
to
at-
I think they're trying to bring themselves back by using their powers again.
But I don't
If
think
we're
they ever.
going with
You're
that.
right.
Yeah.
But I also think this is also another part of society as a whole
Mm-hmm.
in modern society because we do live in a very like conscious and open world. At the same time as you have extremes, like people are just like drugs under moderation can be good and can be healing, but drugs can also be very detrimental. I think that this is not like a pro or pro versus con on the aspect of drug usage. I think in terms of continuity, I think this is something that they're
Just
experiencing.
another aspect
of humanity
of
because
understanding
of modern
humans.
times, for sure. Because you look at in terms of the culture, what's with the tattoos, what's with
Yeah.
the piercings in their faces, in terms of like they don't look anything like what they did,
What they started
would
as,
have
yeah.
followed into the order. But again, for continuity's sake, when you're trying to say, well, we're detoxing this, but it's just like, man, y'all did all that gangster shit. Did you do it after? Get some haircuts? Get ripped in the gym? I think it's more of like these are just we're seeing different phases of them, even because you can't stop not looking older
Yeah.
or getting in shape because they
Well,
do
I
other
don't know.
stuff.
They seem like they can stop
Right,
looking older.
they do look older in this video though.
Well,
you know,
but also it's also styling, I think, as
yeah,
well. Yeah.
yeah. There's not as much polish on this, but I feel like in terms like this is another aspect of excess and consumerism because coming from like K-pop, it's a lot of like glam and a lot of like shiny shit and a lot of like. But they haven't done a lot of money that I've seen so far. They're not really trying to do a lot of flashy things. Like they're
Right.
keeping up with the times and what's popular. But I feel like this is a direct of consumerism.
Okay.
What is your drug? Is it coffee? Some people love Starbucks. There's more people that invest
Why
in
you gotta
Starbucks.
point over at my
Because you drinking that
Starbucks?
shit. That shit's a day old. You need your fix. That's disgusting. Anyway.
It's not disgusting. I put it in the fridge. I didn't finish drinking it.
But it's one of those things that this is another facet of humanity that they're experiencing to understand what life is on this planet.
Right.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
That's going on there as well too. Because again, he was concocting some shit in the lab. What was he making? Was he making these Ko Ko Bop little tablets or whatever?
We'll get to what the theory is on
For
that.
sure,
I should say.
for sure.
Doesn't mean that that's
but
what it is.
I don't see like them trying to like you don't fight like fighting fire with fire. Like you don't do more drugs to cure drugs. Like
Right.
that doesn't work. No matter
This
what.
is just
planet that you're from.
experiencing so they can better understand what they're fighting against.
Well, not what they're fighting against, what the perception is.
Yeah.
Because that you got to look at it as well too. Like a lot of people enable themselves through drugs.
Right.
Because some people use it for medicinal meditation purposes, but then also people use it as a crutch.
Right.
My life is so hard. This is the only way I can cope.
Right.
But it could be cheeseburgers. It can be coffee drinks. It could be candy. It can be drugs. It can be live in excess.
Yeah.
Top down with the money. Like I think this video represents in terms of the excessive human consumption.
And that makes
And
like
consumerism.
Hearing everything you're saying totally makes sense. So it's like once again, I'm looking at this in a completely
Yeah, for
different
sure,
way,
for sure.
which I've never like even thought about.
But all these things are
before.
fresh in my mind. I didn't go over and try to look over all the things, so it's just like the Red Force let themselves be known in that facility. An actual physical entity
Right.
being able to touch them.
At least a minion, yeah.
A minion of some sort. They've been touched. It was before we had no idea what they can do and what they were capable of. We're starting to see their powers, but then we see now the civil unjust and the uprising fighting the authority of like a military type state. And then we're seeing got to infiltrate the underground, the gangster type aspects, big social, upfront in your face issues. But this is more underlining. Like, I feel like consumption is very low under the radar. People don't care about what they're putting into their bodies. I think it's actual opposite. It has nothing to do with detox. I think it's like, wow, this is like popular here. People like to eat. People like to drink. People like to live in excess. And they're enjoying it. But at the same token, like, making fireworks and all this stuff, it's just like, oh, cool, we can do that. Oh, yeah, we can do that. But it's like, nah, dog, you know you can do. You know, that's how I perceive it. That they're tapping into like another. Wow, this is really popular here on this planet. Yeah. But why? Because I don't think they got burger shops or wherever they got in you know, on Planet EXO.
Planet EXO.
You know what I mean? And the perception of destruction, like shooting off basketballs that turn into supernovas and fireworks, like that can't be a good scene. Again, trying to put the tape in, we can use our powers to break out. So why would this be out showcasing all their powers?
Because they're on drugs.
Right.
They're not thinking rationally, so they're almost kind of exposing themselves in a way which they shouldn't be doing.
But I think this is tied closer to the other video where they're on the football team. I think these videos are closer together than the ones in this.
And Love Me Right.
Yeah, I think those two are kind of like in the same nod of like, this is what we're being, because think about it, like, if I can imagine myself like growing up nowhere, like in a rural town, and then I move into the city, like for college or whatever. Like I went all primary school in the country, and then finally I'm out on my own in the city. Sex, drugs, rock and roll, my own personal freedom. Like all of my life was studying, and if I played sports, like that was my life. That was all the pressure I had. But then like now I have some freedom on my own, and I can kind of like walk around on my own feet. This is what I can do. Yeah, I'm gonna dabble. Let me dabble and try to like, you know, taste the forbidden fruits that I never had in my life before, you know? That's my perception. I think those videos are closer together than the actual them being in the facility and this being the fallout of that. I think that these two are kind of like branching out.
Interesting. No, okay, first of all, I've never heard this theory before. So this is really cool.
That's like
would be crazy is in the end if what you're saying, which no one's ever come up with, is what it actually is. That would be the hilarious part.
There's probably people out there that had this idea way over and they're just like, this guy's biting my style.
Well, I haven't heard it before. If someone has this opinion, I have not heard it before.
That makes more sense to me.
Videos, and I have not heard
and again,
what you're saying.
A lot of those theory videos come from a place of like looking and nitpicking and watching and studying back.
You're
to
just
back.
seeing it
I'm
once
just
through,
seeing it one through, and this is what I'm picking up on. And again, and it's like I was thinking that in my mind, but I didn't want to like tarnish anybody's idea of this group again because I'm an outsider looking in. I don't want to be like I said, this was the party song. This is what I meant by this. But again, I think it's closer to the other video.
But it's not just because they're not doing it because, ooh, yeah, let's do drugs. It's more like we need to understand.
Oh, I mean,
like, you know what I'm saying?
Tomato. People want to do drugs. When you want to do drugs, it can be for scientific purposes.
Scientifical?
It can be for recreational purposes.
Scientifical.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's what I see. But in terms of like that direct fallout, and again, this is a youth thing. A lot of people probably don't interact with drugs a lot.
Yeah.
Cool if you don't do drugs. Mm-hmm. You've lived a long life thus far without them. You don't need them. But it's one of those things that I can see again from perspective. If they've never experienced that or saw the spiritual or the artistic aspect of what drugs can do to you. But at the same token, I think that as much of them with this mystery, how they're projecting, it's not just like drugs. It's not just weed and cocaine and heroin and ecstasy and Molly. That's what you think of when you think of drugs. No, man.
This is
alcohol, caffeine, cigarettes, cheeseburgers, whatever. Like you can find a lot of, you know, you can get a high from all these things in different ways. Like physically, you know, mentally, emotionally. Right. That's kind of like what I feel. I feel like to them, this is like another experience.
It makes sense.
Off of like, because if they are young people,
I've just never ever thought about it from that perspective ever, but it definitely makes sense. So that's really cool to like think about it from a different perspective like that. Yeah. I don't know if now I'm just like conflicted because I'm just like, oh, I don't know which one I feel. Like,
well, at the same time, it's a journey, and I feel like that again, art is subjective, but I think a lot of times some things are just put in place out there to where it's a message to certain people. You know what I mean? Like some people will get this. You know what I mean? You'll get this. And sometimes it's just like it's broad. Like there's nothing to take away from it. Just enjoy it for what it is.
Right.
And I think like this video more falls, if we had to tie it into continuity, It was from
enjoy
that.
it.
Yeah, it's from that other video that we watched.
Okay.
In terms, if you want to watch this as product in itself and consume it for what it is, just
Yeah.
enjoy it. Like, this is their party song. This is their laid back barbecue on the weekend, have a couple cocktails, you know, ambient background
Okay.
song. This is how I feel about it. But if I had to tie it back into the continuity, I think this is their still to the point to when they first landed. No,
Yeah.
it's not when they first
I don't
landed,
think so
but
either.
it was in that early phase of when they got here.
Okay.
When they assimilated into, I'm assuming,
culture.
high school. Like, maybe
Yeah.
they joined a high school locally somewhere in Seoul, and they're like living their teen life.
This
or
is
whatever.
after high school.
This is the college years. This is
Okay.
EXO the college years. Yeah.
Guys, what do you think about that? Because I've never heard somebody think about it from this aspect. I think that's amazing. And now my mind is like freaking reeling. I
crazy.
really think they're going to enjoy this a lot because I'm just like, I'm a little mind blown right now with everything. So this is really cool. So tell me what you think about what Carlos just
Yeah.
said. And
You
because I
can
would
tell me if I'm
love
full
to
of shit, you know, whatever. This is
I'd
just
love
my
to
opinion.
hear that. It just sounded really cool and so different from anything else I've heard. So that's
Yeah.
really, really cool.
And we've
So,
got, what, 5 more videos?
4 more now.
4 more videos.
Yeah.
After those 4 videos get posted, hit me up with all the theories. Hit me up with all your you know.
Yeah, just don't
You're-
spoil anything.
Don't spoil anything moving forward.
Yeah, from the
'cause
new videos.
we're not
Anything
done
from the
yet.
past we might have missed, go
Yeah.
for it. But
Or if you found something that you feel like a lot of people obviously they saw something in this that I didn't necessarily
Yeah.
see, but if you found something that you're like, hey man, because we're going through the list of videos and she's like, I don't think that has anything to do with the story. These is what I found.
yeah, like
and I
coming
can put
over. I
together.
don't think coming over has.
But if there's
anything-
something that you
oh wait,
know.
there is 5 more videos because I forgot about Electric Kiss.
Boom.
Anyway, okay, yeah.
But
so,
yeah, if there's something that you saw, shoot it our way. Shoot it our way.
definitely. Okay, guys, we're gonna move on to the next video because we still have 5 more to go, and it is getting. Well, it's already 12:11, so
Whatever, make a wish.
it's getting late. No,
Yeah.
it's not 11:11. It's
It's about to
12:11.
be 12:12.
True. Oh, true story. Is that a thing? I thought it was just 11:11.
It is now.
Anyway, okay.
Ko Ko Bop 12:12. Make a wish.
It's a thing now. All right, guys, we are moving on to the next one. We will see you guys in the next video. Bye.